From a cult. Eve had been living in the cult for as long as she could remember. She was only 16 years old, but she had been living in the cult since she was a small child. The cult was led by a man named Jacob, who claimed to be a prophet of God. He had a strict set of rules that everyone in the cult had to follow, and anyone who disobeyed was severely punished. Eve had grown up in fear of Jacob and his followers. She had seen them do terrible things to people who disobeyed their rules. She had seen them beat people, torture them, and even kill them. She had been too scared to try and escape, but she had always dreamed of a better life outside of the cult.
One day, her dream came true. A group of people from the outside world had come to rescue her and the other members of the cult. They had heard about the cult and wanted to put an end to it. They had come with guns and were prepared to fight if necessary. The rescue team was able to overpower Jacob and his followers and free the cult members. Eve was one of the first to be rescued. She was taken to a safe place and given medical attention. She was also given counseling to help her cope with the trauma she had experienced in the cult.
Eve was finally free from the cult, but she was still scared. She had been living in fear for so long that it was hard for her to trust anyone. She was also scared of the outside world and all the changes that were happening. But with the help of the people who had rescued her, Eve slowly began to adjust to her new life. She started going to school and making friends. She even started dating and eventually fell in love. Eve had been reborn. She was no longer the scared little girl she had been in the cult. She was now a strong, independent woman who was determined to make the most of her new life. She was determined to never let anyone control her again. Eve had been through a lot, but she was determined to make the most of her new life. She was determined to make sure that no one else ever had to go through what she had gone through. She was determined to make sure that no one else ever had to live in fear.